And welcome in here on the Gamecocks Sports Network on this Thursday evening. We are live tonight from DCU to Cribb University. Logan Maddox with you. Yours truly came down with COVID this week, so unable to travel with the women's basketball squad as they make the trek to Sam Houston, but that's what we've got ESPN Plus for, so we thank the fine folks out in Huntsville, Texas for broadcasting the event tonight. And we'll still be bringing you the action live remotely this evening on the Gamecocks Sports Network. Still a few minutes away from tip as Jacksonville State gets set to take on Sam Houston, the first of two matchups between the two new CUSA foes this season, and the first ever showdown between the Bearcats and the Gamecocks. Jacksonville State 8-12 overall, 3-5 in conference play. But man, they're coming off of a big week at the Pete last week. Came in with just one conference win on the season and picked up two conference wins in a span of 3 days. Head coach Rick Petrie said it was the biggest games that he had seen from the team this season, and obviously deservedly so, as they picked up two big wins against quality Division I opponents in a span of less than 72 hours. It started last Thursday, a week ago tonight, as Jacksonville State beat UTEP 70-62. It was a big game for Maya Barnes, who had a career-high 21 points. Madison McCoy added a career-high 15 points as well. And Jack State got just enough production down the stretch to pick up their sixth win at home this season, and they improved to 2-5 in conference play. And then they followed that up on Saturday with a meeting with New Mexico State, their first ever showdown with the Aggies, and it was a defensive stronghold. Expected that coming in, and it was Jack State who had just enough production on offense. They won that game 56-49. Had a few players stand out in that game, but again, it was a full team effort as the Gamecocks won their second straight, and now tonight they look to do something that they haven't done all season and try to win their third game in a row as they are set to take on Sam Houston. First game of two on the road this week. Jack State will fly out to Nashville tomorrow and then make the short drive to Bowling Green for a Saturday afternoon showdown with Western Kentucky. But before we see the Lady Toppers again, we'll see the Bearcats for the first time this season. A bit of a scouting report on Sam Houston. They come in 6-14 overall, 1-7 in conference play. The Bearcats lost their first 6 conference games and then finally got over that hurdle with a win on February 1st against Western Kentucky. They won in overtime at home, 87-81. With that win a week ago today, they proved that they can, in fact, get a win in conference play. They got close several times, but again, just couldn't get over that hump. And they had a chance to win 2 in a row like Jacksonville State, but on Saturday of last week lost a close one to FIU, a back-and-forth game, and in the end fell 71-65 in that showdown. Jack State and Sam Houston set to go to battle, two teams that are in the bottom portion of the standings here in Conference USA, as you hear the ESPN Plus stream about set to start, which is what we'll be using to follow along with this evening, along with the live stats, live from Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas. But, you know, despite these two teams being low in the standings, there's still a lot of schedule left. I mean, we're only right around halfway through with the conference slate. And so you get hot at the right time right around here, you can have a pretty good seeding as you head into the conference tournament at season's end in the other Huntsville, Alabama. Head coach Rick Petrie in his 11th season leading the Gamecocks. He comes in 166 wins in Jacksonville. In his career, 386 wins. 2 of those in his career against Sam Houston. They were back when he was at South Alabama. Went 2-1 against the Bearcats as leader of the Jaguars. His teams won in Mobile against Sam Houston. They won by 18 points in 2007 and 10 points in 2012. And they lost their only ever game at Sam Houston, so the only previous showdown he's ever had at Johnson Coliseum. Lost a tough one in December 2011. The final of that game was 53-50. Sam Houston looks at their Coliseum like Jack State looks at the Pete. You know, they are a different team at home. They picked up some pretty good wins at home this year. They come in with just 4 Division I victories, but all of those at home this season with the exception of Texas State. They beat Houston Christian to start the season in a tight one, went on the road and beat Texas State, beat Florida A&M at home, and of course also beat Western Kentucky a week ago today in overtime in the friendly confines. Starting lineups announced for either side. We'll start out with Jacksonville State, and it's the same starting lineup that we saw work for the Gamecocks last week. Elsie Harris, the redshirt junior from Mobile, will be in the lineup again. She hasn't really put up eye-popping numbers this season, but she's made great plays for the Gamecocks, and she's back in the starting lineup. Along with Brianna Rhodes, the team's leading scorer and rebounder, 8.3 points and 4.9 rebounds per game this season for the junior out of Montgomery. She's followed by the JUCO transfer, Crystal Eisen, who has close to 8 points and 3.5 rebounds per game. Following her is the senior Madison McCoy, had 2 huge games last week. What can the senior from Knoxville do in this one in her first ever game at Sam Houston? And then the final starter for the Gamecocks is Brooklyn McDaniel. McDaniel out of nearby Heflin, Alabama, close to 6 points and 3 rebounds per game. Had a couple of nice outings last week against the 2 schools from the American Southwest in the conference. As for Sam Houston, they've got Sydney Kemp in the starting lineup. She's put up really good numbers, the team's leading scorer, with the departure of Diana Rosenthal, who is no longer on the team, was the team's leading scorer. Now that's Kemp, who has 11.4 points per game and 3 rebounds. After her, it's Kaylee Jefferson, who has 11 points per game, and Renee Smith, who has 10 points and 9 rebounds per game. Smith, one of the best rebounders by far in the conference. And following her is Shantae Henry, who's got 6 points per game and close to 2 assists per game this year. And then finally the tall guard Tamara DeRoe rounding out the starting lineup for Sam Houston. Sam Houston coached by 6th-year head coach Raven Justice, who has collected 86 wins in her time with the Bearcats and is looking for career win number 115 in this game today. Mentioned that this is the first ever showdown between the 2 teams, and both of these squads first season in Conference USA looking for a big win as we head down the slate in conference play tonight. As they show head coach Rick Petrie on the ESPN Plus broadcast, the Gamecocks already out there breaking up their huddle and getting set for the opening tip. The player to watch for Jack State on the broadcast, by the way, was Madison McCoy. They mentioned how she had 15 and 14 points in the 2 games last week. Was something to witness and would love to see if she can continue that today. The opening tip in the air, and it's won by Jacksonville State. Brianna Rhodes gets a hand on it. Crystal Eisen catches it in the backcourt. Eisen will give it off to Elsie Harris, who brings it left to right. A handoff on the wing, Brooklyn McDaniel, sophomore out of Heflin, backs up. She'll drive the left side and the travel. Just good defense that time. Step for step with her was Shantae Henry, the senior out of Wichita, Kansas. And that extra defense kind of got her foot in the way of McDaniel, and she couldn't even mix in the dribble that time. So the Bearcats will get it. They go right to left. Henry standing straight away. This is a Sam Houston offense that can put up some points, and they'll try to do just that as a jumper has a bit too much on it, and Crystal Eisen comes away with it. Eisen using her speed, kicks it in the corner to McCoy. Now to McDaniel, a 3 off the back of the rim. And Sam Houston comes away with it. We saw Brooklyn hit a couple of those open 3s last week, but no such luck on the road this evening. Bearcats back with the ball. They pass left side. This is Kaylee Jefferson, the ECU transfer. Now down to the baseline to Kemp. Over to Henry on the left wing. Now back right side. They're driving down low. Elsie Harris step for step with the defender. Shot clock winding down, and there's going to be a travel on the Bearcats. They got it to big number 14, Renee Smith, and the 6'2" Colorado transfer just could not find any space working against Brianna Rhodes. They show a press, but Jacksonville State breaks past it with Madison McCoy. She'll bounce one top of the key to Elsie Harris, who will stop on the right wing. Swinging it straight away, Brianna Rhodes drives in and makes the layup off the glass. Minute 30 in, and the Gamecocks have their first points of the day. It's 2-0. Finding Brianna Rhodes, the do-it-all forward out of Carver High School in Montgomery, and we have our first points of this game. Sam Houston will respond, though. Renee Smith misses the first shot, but she's there for the putback. And again, showing her presence, so dangerous inside with those 9 rebounds per game. You can see why she's one of the best offensive rebounders in the conference with a play like that. Crystal Eisen had an open layup, couldn't get it, but Brooklyn McDaniel there for the offensive board. They'll reset the play on the outside with Elsie Harris. Harris in that starting point guard role. Euro steps in. The shot was blocked. She'll pass it back out. 8 on the shot clock. This is Brooklyn McDaniel who drives it in and draws a shooting foul. She'll head to the line for a couple. McDaniel, 5'11" forward, had a really good freshman year last year. Still looking to, build upon the strides that she made in her first season this year. Still a lot of time left. Comes into this game a 64% free throw shooter. Made her way to Jacksonville State after starring at Cleburne County High School. Again, just short drive down the road from Jacksonville as the free throw falls off the rim. No good on the first one. Jacksonville State and Sam Houston tied at 2, 7:43 to go in the first. And McDaniel hits the second one. Able to make it swish, and Sam Houston trails by a point now. 7:40 and ticking here in the first quarter. This is Duro, the junior from Arlington, Texas. Hands it off, coming to right side. They find Renee Smith in the paint. She has to pass it back out quickly as she was triple teamed. They go back to her. Pass outside, 3-ball up, and it's off the rim. No luck that time. Had an open look, but couldn't hit the shot. Gamecocks get it down the floor quickly, and then Brooklyn McDaniel just flat out lost it. Right between her hands, and on the floor, it'll be a jump ball, and it will be Sam Houston basketball. Man, you've got to take advantage of opportunities like this. You've got a scrappy Sam Houston team that is just different at home, looking for a confidence-building win tonight. And got an open shot, got an open teammate in the paint. Cannot let those opportunities slip by you. Sam Houston almost with a turnover as Crystal Eisen got a hand on the ball. Left wing, bringing it back to the right side. This is 13 with it, Kaylee Jefferson. Back to the left corner. On the 10, Cassidy Dixon drives in, and she is fouled, putting up a layup. That foul will be on Brooklyn McDaniel, who had made the previous free throw for Jacksonville State. And Dixon will have a chance to tie it or take the lead here at the line. So you hear the broadcasters for Sam Houston say, Dixon showing some physicality that time, driving up against a taller Brooklyn McDaniel. But the junior from Goodyear, Arizona, misses the first free throw a bit short. Dixon, the team's 5th leading scorer coming in. She's a 59% free throw shooter. Wears those glasses tied around on the backside, and she makes the second one to tie it at 3. 6:44 and ticking here in the first period. Jacksonville State with a turnover. They threw it right to Sam Houston, intercepted by Jefferson. Has it on the left wing, darts inside, a pass in the corner, and dribbled off the foot of Dixon and out of bounds. So one turnover followed by another. We've got 6:32 left in the first, and Jack State getting the ball back. By the way, the Gamecocks wearing their black unis as the Bearcats are pressing. They throw it down the floor to a wide open Eisen. And Crystal with a great finish that time, laying it in off the glass. It's 5-3. Heck of a play that time. It was a perfect pinpoint accurate pass from Brianna Rhodes, who should get credit from that assist. And we'll have another foul on Brooklyn McDaniel as the Bearcats went right into the heart of the Gamecock defense. And again, 23 is going to get called for a foul. That'll be her second. And already you would imagine that we probably won't see McDaniel for the remainder of this first period. She comes out, and the graduate transfer Rachel Johnson checks in for the red and white. Also, Diar Sissako checking out for Sam Houston as the free throw is up and in from Dixon. Dixon will have one more to try to tie it. Gamecocks mentioned they are coached by 11th-year head coach Rick Petrie. He's helped out by 11th-year assistant Eric Wise and first-year assistants Destiny Thomas and Kayvon Towns and Dobo Harley Cook, along with graduate assistant Preston Odom. Second free throw no good, and then a foul going for the rebound on Dixon. Crystal Eisen came down with it, and Dixon kind of reached around her as she was trying to come down with the ball. Jack State will throw it in. Again, the Bearcats pressing. Rachel Johnson splits 2 defenders still on the opposite side of half court. Now they'll break past it as they find Elsie Harris. She loops around to the right side, dumps it off to Brianna Rhodes. Beautiful play by Harris. and that is why she's earned the starting point guard role. A beautiful assist, and Rhodes with a nice finish. It's 7-4. Gamecocks up 3 with 5:40 to go in this opening period in Huntsville, Texas. Dixon passes it off to Jefferson. Now back outside they go. Kemp had it momentarily. Jefferson driving against Madison McCoy, and it's knocked out of bounds by the senior. You know, we talked so much about the great play that Madison McCoy had on offense last week. How about the defense? She has shown that consistently throughout this season and throughout her career in Jacksonville, and gets that big right hand on the ball as Jefferson tried to lay it in off the backboard. The senior out of Sulphur Springs, Texas. No luck that time. 5.5 to go here in this first period. Next stoppage probably would take us to the media timeout. Gamecocks up by 3. They put up a long 2, and it's going to be a foul at the end of the play. Not a ton of contact, but just enough. And Shanti Henry will head to the line for Sam Houston. Rachel Johnson just looks on in disgust, disagreeing with that call. My opinion, of course, I'm not a ref, came after the play. Don't think it really hindered the shot, nor was it excessive, but Henry will head to the line nevertheless, and she'll make the first. Second free throw, she got them both, and it's 7-6, a 1-point game. 5:22 to go in this first period. Brianna Rhodes dumps it off to Madison McCoy. She'll lead them down the court, then give it off to Elsie Harris. In the corner to Ison. Crystal with a one-on-one. She'll spin, double-teamed. Kicks it across the floor. Rachel Johnson, wide open layup. The defense sucked in on the pass in the corner. Rachel Johnson beats them to the hoop, and the Gamecocks lead it by 3. Under 5 to go in the first, so we'll have our media timeout at the next stoppage for sure. Sam Houston at the elbow. It's Sydney Kemp in the corner, now on the wing, passing it around, trying to find an opening. They drive it in. And a late foul again on Rachel Johnson. My goodness, already the 4th foul on the Gamecocks. And when we come back to play, it'll be some free throws for Shanti Henry once again as Rachel is called for a foul. Rather, that's going to be Ison. Nevertheless, same result. Be back in just a moment. 4:45 to go in the first. Jacksonville State leading Sam Houston 9-6. And we're back with you here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. Jacksonville State and Sam Houston State Women's Hoops Conference USA Showdown. A couple of free throws coming up for Shanti Henry, with Jacksonville State leading 9-6, 4:44 to go here in the first period of play in Huntsville, Texas. First game of 2 on the road this weekend for Jack State. So head to Western Kentucky on Saturday. Free throw from Henry is up and in. Makes it a 9-7 difference. Again, Sam Houston 1-7 in league action. Jack State 3-5. And she hits both of them. It's a 1-point game. By the way, Jacksonville State's men with a 17-point lead at halftime at home against Sam Houston, 40-23 the score in that game. And the Gamecocks with a miscommunication coming down the floor after those free throws. Crystal Ison could not receive it on the far sideline, and it's off her hands and into the Sam Houston bench. So with that being said, the Bearcats will have it with a chance to retake the lead here, down by a point. They have not led in a minute. They've not made a field goal in about 4 minutes of game action, and Renee Smith will continue that streak. She caught a pass right at the baseline with her foot out of bounds. And with that, Jacksonville State gets the ball right back. Already you're seeing how aggressive this defense is inside for JSU. They know the scouting report with the size that Renee Smith has inside. Got to have strength in numbers if you're JSU. So Elsie Harris will turn it over again right to the Bearcats. Lay up, no good. Oh, man, Jack State will get it with a big defensive rebound. Just threw it right to him in the press, but thankfully no harm done. And here come the Gamecocks. Tamaya Barnes on the left wing. She'll drive it in, spin, pass it off to Brianna Rhodes. Long two for Bree off the back of the rim, and Barnes there for the offensive board. Back outside to Elsie Harris. We'll restart the play as the shot clock restarts. Brianna Rhodes, top of the key, going left side. Fakes the handoff to Johnson, now goes to Crystal Ison. Ison in the corner, a three for Harris. Yes! Elsie Harris, a corner tray, and the lead is 4 for Jacksonville State. Biggest lead of the day for either side with 3.5 to go here in the first period. The Gamecocks on top by 4. First 3 for either side. And again, Sam Houston has still not had a field goal in over half of this first period. It's been 5 minutes. Defense has been smothering for the Gamecocks. Bearcats drive baseline, and a charge is called. Just when you think that Sissoko is going to get some room that time, no such luck. And Jaira, the big 5'10 guard from Mali, will be called with an offensive foul that turns it over again to Jacksonville State. The Gamecocks have made 4 of their last 5 shots and looking to continue that streak here as, again, the Bearcats are pressing. They throw it in to Samaya Steele. Steele crosses that Sam Houston logo at half court, bounces it, almost stolen, and it'll be a jump ball as it's covered up by Renee Smith. Now they'll say that it's still live. I don't know how they didn't stop play. Bearcats with mid-range jumper, in and out, tipped around, and over to Crystal Ison. I don't know how that was not a jump ball. Crystal Ison down the floor, and this time it's on the floor, and it will be a jump ball. Tied up, Brianna Rhodes, and I think that is going to be Sissoko that was tied up with her. So not the jump ball when we thought it would be, but ends up being a jump ball at the end of the day, and Jack State will have it on offense. It's 12-8 Gamecocks, 2:46 to go in the first period at beautiful Johnson Coliseum in Huntsville, Texas, about an hour north of Houston. Samaya overhead to Maya Barnes. Right wing, a pass to Rachel Johnson, the Eufaula native, coming back left side to Steele. Shaquise May comes in, puts up a 3 off the rim, and a foul called at the end. So May will have a chance to earn 3 the old-fashioned way at the free throw line here. Wow, and Sam Houston, they can't believe that the foul was called. It's similar to what we saw earlier in the first period. It was well behind, or well after the shot, I should say. Did not impede the shot, but still too much contact as Jefferson had her hand up and collided with May, the junior from Atlanta, who's going to put up a free throw. This one up and in. Makes the first one, and it's 13-8. May, a third-year Gamecock who has been a role player throughout her career. Has had some big games, though. He's coming off a couple of nice performances last week as the second free throw is just a bit short. Two-possession lead, could work it to a full two-possession lead if she hits this last free throw at the line. May play it at Rockdale County High School in Georgia. And she hits the last one. It's 14-8 with 2.5 left here in the first period. And Sam Houston back with it. They'll pass it outside to Jefferson. Screen set. Darts to the right wing. Goes down low to Renee Smith. Has it in the corner. Has to pass back out. This offense for Sam Houston's just been out of sorts in the first. As they drive in and would have had an open lane, but a moving screen is going to give it right back to Jack State. First foul on Renee Smith, and that'll put the Gamecocks in the bonus for the final 2:13 here in this first period. As Maya Barnes will toss it in. Jack State will throw it in, and Sam Houston will be pressing here, which is what they've done practically the entire first period. They're an athletic team. They try to use that to their advantage. As it goes in to Rachel Johnson, ahead to Samaya Steele, who crosses half court. Dribbles behind her back, kicks it to May in the corner. Shaquise at the baseline. Tosses it right to a Bearcat. Sissoko steps in the way of that pass, intercepts it, races down the floor, puts up a shot, and a charge called again. The feet were set for Jacksonville State, and that is already the 6th team foul on Sam Houston. We're just over 8 minutes in. Sissoko just barreled right into Samaya Steele, and it's an easy one to call if you're an official. Shaquise May races all the way down the right side. She'll slow it down at the baseline. Looking for a teammate. It's Rachel Johnson on the wing. She drives in, and she is fouled hard, sent to the deck, and gets up a little gingerly with the help of Maya Barnes. She'll have a couple of free throws here. Rachel initially working against 22 for Sam Houston on that play. That is Shanti Henry. Then fouled at the end by Sydney Kemp, the redshirt junior from Kansas City. Wonder who she is taking in the Super Bowl on Sunday. So 2 free throws for the graduate out of Eufaula, Rachel Johnson, as the free throws up and in on the first one. She has had some really nice spurts. She has played in every single game this season for the Gamecocks, and she hits both free throws. And Jack State doubling up Sam Houston now, 16-8 with 1:44 to go in the first. The Bearcats will bring it up the floor down the center of the court. Again, they have not made a bucket, and I couldn't tell you when. Layup, no good off the back of the rim from Sydney Kemp. The Gamecocks back with it, up by 8. Trying to make it a double-digit lead here with Samaya Steele. A screen from Asia Barkley, who came in, junior out of Anniston. Steele gets to the right side with that. Open underneath the bucket was Rachel Johnson. She missed it, but somehow hits the putback. And timeout is taken by Sam Houston. Coach Justice has seen enough, and we'll step aside with her. 1:14 to go in the first. Jack State up big, 18-8 at Sam Houston. Be back in just a moment. Jack State up a cool 10 points, 18-8 here in the first period. Sam Houston trying to have their first field goal in what feels like 10 years as they bring it up the floor late here in the first. They have not made a field goal in a long time, and they'll turn it over once again as they just throw it out of bounds. Renee Smith, the big 6'2" forward, was wide open under the basket, but again, they could not find her the basketball. And Jack State passes it in. Through the press, it goes into Asia Barkley, who gallops ahead. She'll underhand toss to Samaya Steele. Still, the Alabama State transfer will spin, cut back to the right side. Stops, gives off to Maya Barnes, who heaves a three. It's off the rim and rebounded by Sissoko. She jogs up the far sideline, spins, passes outside to Kemp, drives against Shaquise May, and finally they hit a shot. The runner is good by Sydney Kemp, and she is fouled at the end of the play. Shaquise May with her first personal, I believe. And that'll put Sam Houston in the bonus for the final few seconds of this first period. About 28 seconds left to be exact. And Sydney Kemp with her first points of the day, looking to make a field goal and get it to a 7-point game. And that free throw had too much on it, pulled down by Barkley. Asia lobs it ahead to Samaya Steele, and the Gamecocks in business again. Samaya with a charge, never mind. I mean, just one defender in the way of Steele that time. She couldn't pass it away, and the charge drawn by Elena Houghton. Yeah, I mean, as you look back at the replay, nothing the official can do that time. You just went belly to belly against Houghton, and they're going to call that charge every single time. So final shot will belong to Sam Houston. As they've got 12 seconds on the clock, they'll start the play there. It's a screen from Houghton. That springs Kemp to the right side. She'll put up a layup, and it goes in. 4 seconds left. Jack State may have a chance to toss it in, get something, but they'll just hold on to it and take it to the second period. Defense shines for Jack State. They hold Sam Houston without a basket for the vast majority of the period, and they lead it 18-12 as we head to the second here in Huntsville. Be back in just a minute here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. Gamecocks lead Sam Houston 18-12 as we come back to play here in the second period. Early on in the second, Sam Houston misses a shot at the very beginning of the period, attacking quickly against Shaquise May, but the jumper no good, and then a foul as May got the rebound. Foul called on Kaylee Jefferson. Again, the Bearcats pressing didn't work too much in the first period. They'll keep it going here in the second, though, as Maya Barnes brings it up the court. Hands it off to Jazz Spencer, the JUCO transfer who's come in to run point. Passes to Barkley beyond the arc. Top of the key, she'll walk it right side. Now a handoff to Johnson. Rachel in the neon shoes, back left side to Spencer, heaves a three. It's off the backboard, but there for the putback is Asia Barkley. Rebound and two for Barkley. It's 20-12. Now Sam Houston looking for a response of their own. They'll heave a three. It's up, and it's good. Shantae Henry with the first three of the day for Sam Houston. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-point game. 20-15 with about 9 minutes to go until halftime. Asia Barkley might have gotten away with a carry that time as she crosses half court. Gives it off to Jasmine Spencer. Bartow, Florida native, passes back to Barkley. Now left corner, a three for Johnson is off the iron. Fought for the rebound, but they're going to get her for a foul as she, I think, shoulder checked Elena Houghton that time. That'll be the first team foul on the Gamecocks here in period number 2. And, yeah, I don't think it was intentional, but Rachel, you know, she's jacked. If you've never seen her, she's a big kid, came running in and shoulder checked Houghton, sent her flying that time, and I think it made it a little bit easier to call the foul. Renee Smith, who's been a non-factor so far, passes off to Dixon, no good. And Smith cannot get the rebound. It rolls its way to Preston Odom, the GA, sitting on the bench. Almost a big collision that time. I think Preston was watching out, but the Gamecocks will get it. It'll be Barnes to toss it into Barkley. They'll hand it back off to Maya, the JUCO transfer from Shelton State, who's been a big addition when healthy this year. Battled some injuries early on. As Jazz Spencer misses an easy layup is what it appeared to be. I mean, 3 defenders were there but didn't contest it. And Sam Houston gets the rebound. They bring it down the floor to Houghton. Left side Jefferson. She'll step back. Still beyond the arc. Tries a long two now. It's up and in. That was number 22, Shantae Henry. Buries the two, and it's a one-possession game, 20-17. Need to respond if you're the Gamecocks, and there will be a blocking foul at the baseline. Maya Barnes going up against Renee Smith, and Smith gets another foul called on her. And as you heard the announcer say for Sam Houston, she is the third Bearcat with 2 fouls in this first half. We have heard the whistles plenty in the opening couple periods. Elsie Harris throws it into Asia Barkley. Outside Maya Barnes. They left her open. You shouldn't have done that. Maya with a 3 from downtown. It's 23-17. The Gamecocks lead with 7.5 to go until halftime. It's a 6-point ball game. Renee Smith coming outside to Kemp. Heaves a tray. No chance that time, and rebounded by Sam Houston with a foul on the floor on Jacksonville State. If you're just joining us, Gamecocks really dominated most of that first period but couldn't build a humongous lead. Sam Houston with a good start to the second. They have battled back. It's a 6-point game, and they will pass it in, trying to cut even further into the deficit as Jefferson comes back in for Henry. Correction, Henry still in the game. I think that was Sissoko that checked out. And a jumper good off the inbound pass. It was Dixon right at the baseline, 23-19. The Gamecocks get past the press this time with Maya Barnes. Her layup is blocked out of bounds, though, by Sam Houston. That was Elena Houghton. You know, you look at Houghton, not the tallest player. I think she's only a sophomore, so still young, the Hartford transfer. Doesn't look like she's 6'1", but very valuable presence inside for this Bearcat defense. As Elsie Harris has got it on the left wing. She'll spin against the defender. Takes it to the elbow. Passes back out to Ison. Crystal Stops in the paint, puts up an awkward jumper. It's off to the left. Rebounded by Maya Barnes, off of her, and then to Sam Houston. Houghton comes away with it. Down the floor to Shanti Henry in the corner. Trying to get around Crystal Ison, and a block will be called on Crystal. Man, that'll be the second on her. You look back at that play, it's tough. I mean, Crystal just lost her footing. Not much she could do. And really, as they show the replay, it could have been on either side. I mean, Crystal accepts the blame because she was falling down and did trip up Henry, but you kind of saw that right arm come in for Henry almost as if she was pushing down Crystal. So with that being said, 2 free throws now for Shanti Henry, and she's got a chance to make it a 2-point game if she can hit both. Well, she stood at the line. Now they're going to switch it up and say it's an inbounds, which should have been the correct call. The officials weren't buying it. Number 3 coming back in for Sam Houston. That is Keelis Grant, freshman from Cedar Hill, Texas. DeRoe will throw it in. Goes into Grant. Now back beyond the arc to Kemp. Kemp has it on the left wing. Sam Houston down by 4 with 6:36 till halftime. They go to DeRoe on the left wing. Hand off to Grant. Now DeRoe back open straight away. Puts up a 3. It's off the rim. Had an open look, but it falls to Elsie Harris. Bumped at half court and lost it out of bounds off Sam Houston. Oh, no. I mean, if you're Elsie, the one thing you can't have happen is just drop the ball at the baseline. And she says, it's my fault. Man, it's just been one of those days for Jack State. Still early, still time to clean that up, but almost at times feeling too fast for your own good. Elsie will try to make up for it on defense as she's covering DeRoe. They drive it in with Dixon, no good, pulled down by Asia Barkley, who was there defensively. Over to Elsie Harris, jogging up the sideline. Elsie spins to the left corner. A 3 for Crystal. No, off the mark. Rebounded by Asia Barkley, and she dropped the ball again. Sam Houston's going to get it. DeRoe in transition, bringing it up the floor. Stops, passes off to Kemp. Might have missed a travel that time. To Henry. To Kemp on the wing. Now DeRoe top of the key. Passing it around, looking for an open teammate. Dixon spins to DeRoe, left wing. Henry with May in front of her. Sidesteps her, tries a 3, and she sinks it. Oh, no, Shanti Henry, it's a 1-point game. 23-22. Henry with 12 points already for Sam Houston. And it's 23-22. Gamecocks lose it with a backcourt violation. And with 5:09 to go in the first half, Sam Houston's going to get the ball right back. Oh, no. From bad to worse here midway through the second period for Jacksonville State. Elsie Harris just dribbled it between her legs and lost it on a backcourt violation. Just a misstep that time. Sometimes it's all it takes. Now the Gamecocks have not scored in 3 minutes. Madison McCoy checks back in for the red and white. And she'll be called for a foul reaching in against Sydney Kemp. That takes us to the media timeout. 5 minutes to go until halftime. Jack State 23, Sam Houston 22. We welcome you back to our coverage of Jacksonville State women's basketball here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. Logan Maddox with you on this Thursday night. Gamecocks in Huntsville, Texas, taking on Sam Houston for the first time ever. Led by as many as 10 points in that first period, but now up by just a point in the second, 23-22. And an offensive foul on Sam Houston as Jack State was getting set up defensively. I think they're going to get Sydney Kemp again. Second on her, that's making it 4 Bearcats now with at least 2 fouls. Now Jacksonville State looking for a response. It's Madison McCoy straight away, driving down low, and they get her for a charge. Elena Houghton, right place, right time. Wasn't the most contact in the world, but now Madison will check out again. And Maya Barnes, as you heard the announcer say, jogs back off from the sideline, comes in the game for JSU. 4:34 and ticking here in quarter number 2. Jack State up by just a point. Sam Houston has not led since pretty early in that first period. They go left side to Dixon. Stutter steps, tries a long 2, and she nails the mid-range jumper. A 7-0 run for Sam Houston. They lead it by a point, 24-23. And now the Gamecocks back with it. They need to respond now and end this scoring drought. Have not scored in about 5 minutes of their own. As Brianna Rhodes almost had it stolen. She'll give it off to Maya Barnes and out of Samaya Steele. Steele, the Hazel Green standout, takes it to the right side. They lob down low, and it's intercepted, looking for Maya Barnes, but picked off by Dixon. She'll accelerate, and then she'll throw it to a Gamecock. Crystal Eisen with a steal. Eiston loops around, and she has it stolen as well. Samaya Steele had it ripped out of her hands. Down low to Kemp. In the corner, a 3 up and rims out. Very close that time. It was Shanti Henry, who's got a game-high 12, that just missed a 3 there. Brooklyn McDaniel can't hit a layup, and it's out of bounds off Sam Houston, trying for the rebound. And Brianna Rhodes asking for a foul. Correction, they're going to say it's off Brianna. They changed the call, and it'll be Sam Houston ball. So the Bearcats up a point with 3 and change here in this second period. Going to swing it left side. A screen set. She comes back to the right to Shanti Henry. Houghton battling down low with Rhodes. Letting them play right now to Dixon. And her floater goes out of bounds. Just barely caught nylon. And Jack State will get it back with 2:56 remaining in the half. They've shown some shots of the crowd. And I mentioned a beautiful arena, Johnson Coliseum. You know, CUSA fans really across the league are spoiled with nice arenas. We love the Pete, but I know the Pan American Center in New Mexico State's great. Don Haskins Center at El Paso is awesome. Johnson Coliseum at Sam Houston is an underrated one. La Tech's got a nice one. Everybody knows about the cathedrals of basketball that they have at Liberty and Middle Tennessee. And Jack State with an offensive foul bringing it up. I think they get Samaya Steele with a push. Be an offensive foul. The whistles have been frequent in this first half. So now Jacksonville State still down a point. 2:44 until halftime as Sydney Kemp jukes to the left. Passes off, running layup, no good. Defense was there, and it's out of bounds off JSU. Crystal Eisen was the defender that got a hand on it. It was Duro that had heaved it up in traffic. Tamara Duro, the junior who transferred from Southwest Assemblies of God University. If you've heard of that, I have not, so you got me beat there. Bearcats to toss it in just to the right of their own basket. Goes in the corner to Henry. Sets a screen, goes to Kemp. Now back to Henry on the right side. Working against McDaniel, puts up a layup. It's off the side of the backboard and pulled down by Bree Rhodes. Brianna passes ahead to Elsie Harris. Now to Crystal Eisen, driving baseline, kicks it out to Maya Barnes. Barnes layup, couldn't get the left-handed finish to go. Sam Houston rebounded down the floor to Dixon, And a nice little Euro step to get around Harris. Layup banks in, 26-23. It's a 9-0 run for Sam Houston. And 14-3 going back further than that. And Elsie Harris stepped out of bounds. Brought it up the floor, went to the baseline, and stepped on that back line. Gamecocks have not scored in over 6 minutes of playing time, and timeout is taken by Jack State. We'll step aside with them. 1:56 left in the first half. It's 26-23, Bearcats on top. Just a 30-second timeout, so we're back with you here on YouTube Live, the Gamecocks Sports Network. Sam Houston called for an offensive foul. As they work it up the floor, it's going to be a charge on Dixon. And another foul on her as she just barreled over Krista Lyson. Some of these fouls have been tacky, but some of them have made sense, to say the least. That one makes sense. Sam Houston, a 9-0 run in this second period, a 14-3 run since very early in this period. As Krista Lyson breaks around the Bearcat defense, lost her footing, keeps the dribble and gets back up. Passes off to Elsie Harris, who comes back left side. Gets a screen from Brianna Rhodes. Elsie with a mid-range jumper off the back of the iron, no good. Pulled down by Jefferson. Now right side to Duro. Jefferson, long two, off to the right, and caught by Maya Barnes. Grabbed it off the glass. Under 1:20 left in the half. And Maya travels. Caught it at the left wing and never got to mix in a dribble. Jack State turns it over again. For the Gamecocks, that is their 17th turnover of the first half. 28 combined turnovers between these two teams. It has been a sloppy start for both sides, if we're being honest. Duro swings it right side to Henry, now to Kemp straight away. Kemp to the elbow, back outside Grant. Now left side to Duro. Spins against Harris. Henry, who's got a game-high 12, has it beyond the arc. Left side to Jefferson, and out the back line. Said Jefferson meant Houghton, trying to get the tall sophomore, but just off her fingertips and out of bounds. With 50 seconds left, Jacksonville State will throw it in. Barnes gives in to Harris. A pass around the pressure to Rhodes. Brianna will advance it herself. Takes it down low, spins, layup, goes in. And finally, the scoreless drought ends for Jacksonville State. 26-25. We'll look at halftime and see just how long it was between baskets, but felt like forever. And now Sam Houston can hold off for nearly a last-second shot. 15 on the shot clock, 20 on the game clock. It's going to be Kemp on the left side. Dart to the right, pass off to Henry. 3-ball off the rim, and a jump ball that'll give it to Jacksonville State. So who knows, if you're the Gamecocks, maybe you can get a last-second shot here and retake the lead. Houghton and Rhodes were there for the jump ball. They give it into Elsie Harris. Takes it up past half court. Gives off to Maya Barnes. A three at the horn. Got it! A buzzer beater from Maya Barnes, and Jacksonville State will retake the lead as we head into the locker rooms. A first half that saw both offenses struggle at times, but at the end of the first 20, Jacksonville State leads it 28-26 here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. We'll step aside and come back with more in just a moment. Your score at the break, JSU 28, Sam Houston 26. And we're back with you here on the Gamecock Sports Network. It's halftime in Huntsville, Texas. And Jacksonville State leading Sam Houston in women's action 28-26. Jack State, led by as many as 10 in that first period, was, looked to be well on their way to their third win in a row, maybe in an easier fashion. But Sam Houston battles back in that second. They hold Jack State without a bucket for at least 6 minutes of game action. And they retake the lead before Maya Barnes hits a buzzer-beating three, an assist by Elsie Harris. And Jack State leads it at the break, 28-26. Gamecocks shot 10 of 24 from the field in the first half. That's 42%. There were 3 of 8 from deep, which is just 38%. And 5 of 7 from the line, 71%. Sam Houston was just a bit worse in each of those metrics. 33% from the field, which is 9 of 27. They were just 2 of 7 from deep, 29%, and 6 of 9 from the line, 67%. Gamecocks dominated in crashing the boards which is surprising. Coming in, Sam Houston with the tall Renee Smith, one of the better rebounding groups in the league, but they were out-rebounded 22-12 in the first half. The thing that is helping them stay in the game, though, is points off turnovers, or rather turnovers in general. Jack State with 17 turnovers in the first half. 11 times Sam Houston turned the ball over. Not nearly as many for them. They have 8 steals, just 1 steal for the Gamecocks in the first half. Jack State, though, with 3 more assists, 7 versus 4, and twice as many blocks. 2 blocks versus just 1 for Sam Houston. We'll start out with the stats for Jack State. They have 3 players with 6 points in the first half. Maya Barnes ended with 6 after hitting that 3 to beat the buzzer. 6 points and 2 rebounds in the first half for the junior out of Carver High School in Montgomery. Ditto for the other junior from Carver High, Brianna Rhodes. 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and a block. She's 3 of 4 from the field to start. Rachel Johnson was 2 of 4 from the field, made a couple of free throws as well. Has 6 points, 2 rebounds in the first half, all that in just 7 minutes of game action for Johnson. 3 points on a made tray and 4 rebounds for Elsie Harris. She is leading the team in rebounds and in assists in the first half so far. 2 points for Asia Barkley, tied with Harris with 4 rebounds in the first half. Asia also had 1 assist and 1 turnover in the first half. 2 points for Crystal Ison, 3 rebounds, also totaled 2 assists in the opening 20 minutes. 2 points for Shaquise May, both on free throws. She was fouled and went 2 of 3 at the line. 1 rebound for the junior out of Rockdale County High School in Georgia. And a made free throw from Brooklyn McDaniel in the first half. She also had 1 rebound and turned the ball over once. We've seen already 5 players accumulate 2 fouls in the first half for Jacksonville State. That would be Ison, McCoy, McDaniel, Johnson, and Steele. We didn't see any of those players for very long, with the exception of Ison. She got her second foul late in the half. But otherwise, the other players had to take a seat pretty early on, which has allowed everybody that is healthy, with the exception of Eden Sample, to get into the game so far for Jacksonville State. Mentioned the Gamecocks' shooting percentages in the first half. They have 16 bench points, 14 points in the paint, and 8 points off 11 turnovers for Sam Houston. Jack State with 8 second chance points, and they've got 6 offensive rebounds, 2 points off fast break opportunities. And Jacksonville State right now is 7 of 12 on layups. Gamecocks have led for 13 minutes so far in this game. They have trailed for just 4 minutes, so they have led the vast majority of this matchup, but we'll have to use a big second-half effort to knock off Sam Houston in the friendly confines. Speaking of Sam Houston, their offense is led by 2 players in particular. Shanti Henry with 12 points. She went 3 of 7 from the field, made a couple of three-pointers, and was 4 of 4 at the line. She added 2 rebounds and an assist, all that in 17 minutes of playing time in the first half. And then the big forward, Cassidy Dixon, 8 points in the first half. Also had 3 steals. Very impressive start for her. 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 at the line. Sydney Kemp with 4 points and 1 rebound in the first half. Turned it over a couple of times there late in the first half, though. And then 2 points for Renee Smith. Has just 2 rebounds in the opening 20 minutes and 1 steal. We expected her to be more of a factor in this game, so look to see if Sam Houston can get her a bit more involved in the second half. 2 rebounds for Kaylee Jefferson, but no points in the first half. And for Sam Houston, 2 steals for Diarra Sissoko in just 5 minutes, but she got her second foul quickly and did not come back in. Elena Houghton doesn't have any points, but they've been trying to get her open down low. She has 1 block and 1 steal, along with 1 assist in 13 minutes of game action. We mentioned that Jack State has 5 players with 2 fouls. Sam Houston has 5 players with 2 fouls as well. Kemp, Jefferson, Smith have 2 fouls. So does Dixon and Sissoko. So they will try to keep them on the right side of the law as we head into the second half. Before we break away, we'll take a look at other games in conference action tonight and yesterday. In women's action last night up in Bowling Green, it was a big win for Western Kentucky. Louisiana Tech made it tough on them, but Western wins at the end 64-56. Jack State will make the trip to Bowling Green to take on Western at Diddle Arena on Saturday, 2 p.m. tip-off in that game. In the only other game going on tonight, Middle Tennessee hosting Liberty. Liberty led early in that game, but Middle is starting to create some separation early in the second half. They lead at 41-32. And then the men's team at Jacksonville State, they led by as many as 17 in the first half, but they lead it by 9 with 7:40 remaining at the peak. Could be a photo finish. Make sure to keep an eye on that one to see how it wraps up, as Mike Paris has the call for that one on the Gamecock Sports Network right now. But here at the break in Huntsville, Texas, Jack State leading Sam Houston 28-26. And we're back with you here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. Start of the second half. Jack State leading Sam Houston 28-26. Bearcat basketball to begin the third period as they go to Sydney Kemp. She takes it to the free throw line. Over to Shanti Henry, who was the hot hand in the first half, 12 points, but does not carry over to start the second. Jumper off the rim and over to the Gamecocks. Down the floor quickly to Brooklyn McDaniel. She'll spin on the left wing, double-teamed, and bounces it to Elsie Harris. Harris walks it out to the Sam Houston logo. Dribbling with the defender right in front of her. Left side, swings it to Rhodes. Defenders moving all around. Back over to Elsie. Elsie did a bit of everything in the first half. To an open Madison McCoy for three, and it is well short and out of bounds. Had Maddie open that time. We saw that work quite a few times last week, but just not that time around. Didn't get enough on it. And Sam Houston will get it back just down by 2. Still very early in this third period. Shanti Henry with 12 points. Hit on a couple of threes in that first half. Sydney Kemp outside to Jefferson. Straight away, Jefferson drives, spins, kicks it back out. Now down low they go. In the paint to Smith. Top of the key to Rowe. Three, got it. Hits one from downtown, and Sam Houston takes the lead back 29-28. 8:36 to go in this third quarter of play, and it's a 1-point lead now for the Bearcats. Gamecocks with it, and they throw it right to Sam Houston. Picked off by Shanti Henry, 2-on-2, and they throw it back to Jack State. Good defense by Brooklyn McDaniel to tip it away and control it, and she'll jog it down on the other end. Passes outside to Eisen. Ducks in the paint. Outside McCoy, a three. Off the rim this time. Again, just short. And a foul going for the rebound on Brianna Rhodes. Brianna that time collided with, I think that was Kaylee Jefferson. As it went over Bree's head, she leapt for it and collided with Jefferson. And thus she picks up another foul. That'll be her third. Brianna, I think she would check out in this situation with 8:04 to go in this third period. Now she'll stay in. Perhaps just foul number 2 on her, but nevertheless a turnover. And one offensive foul followed by another offensive foul. Shanti Henry barrels into another Gamecock defender and gets up very slowly. I think she took the most of that contact against Brooklyn McDaniel and Crystal Eisen. Hit the floor right on her right knee as they show the replay, but it definitely was a charge. The Gamecocks will get the ball back. They trail by a point now with 7:53 to go in this third quarter. And a poor pass off the inbound. It's off the hand of McDaniel and out of bounds. And Sam Houston will have it. That was not the way Jacksonville State drew it up, if I was willing to bet. So now what can the Gamecocks do here? Trying to get a stop on defense as Sam Houston looks to extend the lead. They have had some problems with offensive fouls of late, and there's a stoppage of play. Is there another foul? I think time was called so that Dixon could fix her jersey. She did not want to check out as they were initially calling to sub her out. She'll stay in the game. Interesting. Bearcats pass it beyond the arc to Jefferson. A handoff to Dureau. Now over to Dixon. And an offensive foul again away from the play. That is the third turnover in about a minute on Sam Houston, as they get a foul on Dureau after she passed it away. Gamecocks looking for their first points of the third period here after what has been a very slow start to the second half. They give it in to Brianna Rhodes. The junior passes ahead to Samaya Steele. A screen from Rhodes at half court. Samaya standing just to the left of the key. Now going to the right side. Will drive it. Pass it off to Rhodes. Spin around jumper off of the rim and rebounded by Sam Houston. Kaylee Jefferson gets the ball. Takes it down the floor to Sissoko and now to Dureau. Tamara Dureau on the right side, coming back to the left, pressured by McCoy, passes off to Jefferson. In the corner, it's Henry. Back outside, Sissoko driving. Now Duro with a jumper from the elbow. Got it. 31-28, Tamara Duro. It's a 3-point lead, maybe the biggest lead of the game for Sam Houston. And they have opened with a 5-0 scoring run, all from Duro. Samaya Steele passes top of the key to Brianna Rhodes. Handoff on the left wing, McDaniel. Loops around the pressure, takes it to the right side of the lane, passes to Asen. Now left wing, back to Steele. McDaniel with 2 on the shot clock, puts it up at the horn, and it never hit the rim. It was off the backboard. Turnover by the Gamecocks, and with 6:24 to go in the third, it's back to the Bearcats. They lead it by 3. A 5-0 run to start this second half for Sam Houston, who trailed by 2 at the break. They now lead it by 3 as we're getting closer to the 6-minute mark in this third period. Tamara Duro, all 5 points in the second half. Gives to Sydney Kemp in the corner. She drives baseline and runs over Crystal Ison. I wonder how many charges Crystal has drawn tonight. I don't know if they keep that in live stats, but I certainly hope so. She has drawn yet another and knocked down by Duro, or rather by Kemp. It'll be a foul on her and the 4th turnover in about 3 minutes on Sam Houston. If not for these offensive fouls, the Bearcats could be up by a couple possessions, if not more now. But Jack State will take it where it is, trying to cut into the deficit. Rachel Johnson, runner off the iron, rebounded down low by Rhodes. Putback can't go. She gets another opportunity, passes out to Ison for 3, and it rims out. And finally, Sam Houston with a rebound. Dixon comes away with the board, gallops up the right side, will pass off to Duro. Duro to Dixon, baseline. Jumping in the paint, shot is good. Count the basket and a foul. And timeout taken on the floor. Have a chance for a 3-point play when we come back. 5:34 left to go in this third period. Sam Houston on top, 33-28. A 7-0 run to start the second half. Be back in just a moment here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. And we're back with you here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. About midway through this third period, Jacksonville State trailing. It's a 7-0 run to start the second half for Sam Houston. They've got a chance to add to it as they look to cap off a three-point play with Dixon at the free throw line. Her freebie is up and good. Hit the back of the rim but falls in. 34-28 your score, 5.5 to go in this third period. Gamecocks have not scored yet in the second half, and it will continue. Crystal Ison overran the layup attempt, tried for the reverse shot, but it couldn't go in, too short, and rebounded by the Bearcats. 5:15 to go in the third period. Jack State led by as many as 10 early, remember, but Sam Houston has battled back in a big way since midway through the second. They passed it out. It was deflected, but still Bearcat ball to Jefferson in the corner. Shot over Maya Barnes, hits off the side of the backboard and out of bounds, and it will go to Jack State. Last touch by Sam Houston, and now we are under 5 to go, and that will take us to another media timeout before we break away and look at scores, because we had a bit of an extended break just a moment ago. But the only other women's game going on right now in CUSA action, Middle Tennessee leading Liberty late in the third, 54-36. At the peak, Jack State's men leading Sam Houston 74-66, less than 90 seconds remaining. And at Liberty, the men's team for the Flames killing Middle Tennessee late in that one. 3 minutes left, 82-51 Flames on top. We'll step aside in just a minute, come back with the second portion of the third period. Jack State trailing at Sam Houston. Back with you on the Gamecock Sports Network. Jack State trailing by 6 midway through this third period. It's Rachel Johnson to Crystal Ison. Jumper breaks off the rim, and the Gamecocks scoreless drought continues. Have not scored yet in this second half. Bearcats on the left side, dribbling it back to the right to Tamara Duro, and she has it stripped. Catches back up to it in the corner. Pass beyond the arc to Kaylee Jefferson, and now to Dixon. Dixon has taken over in this game, 11 points. Not quite as many as Henry, who has 12, but she has been more consistent throughout the game. To Henry, 1 on the shot clock, and didn't get the layup off in time. It was good, but didn't leave her hand before that buzzer sounded. So with 4:15 to go in the third, Jack State trailing 34-28, and they get the ball back. Final score from the Pete, the men's team knocks off Sam Houston 79-68, 19 points for Kiki Tandy. What a season he is having for the red and white. Samaya steals basketball as Jack State tries to cut into this deficit and try to end this long scoring run. It goes to Brianna Rhodes, who misses a jumper off to the left. That one just beyond the free throw line. Couldn't get it to go. It's been that kind of shooting performance again for Jack State. Jefferson tosses to Dixon. Lobs inside for Renee Smith. Beat the defender, and the layup is good. Put on a nice little spin move to get around Rhodes that time. And it's 36-28, a 10-0 run to start the second half for Sam Houston. Crystal Ison takes it all the way, and she is fouled in the lane trying to pass it back out. That'll be the third team foul on the Bearcats here in this third quarter. That'll be on Shanti Henry, who was reaching in, trying to knock it away from Ison as she was falling to the floor. Correction, that was the fourth foul on the Bearcats. They just updated the number. Steele, the sophomore from Meridianville, Alabama, to pass it in. Heaves it to half court where Rachel Johnson grabs it. Johnson calls for a screen. She'll walk it to the right wing, hand it off to Ison. Crystal back to Johnson, three in the corner, no good. And rebounded again by Sam Houston. They have owned the boards in the second half. Down the floor, Jefferson, jumper off the rim, and pulled down by Asia Barkley. I'm not sure how she got that one. It was tipped out of bounds off of Jacksonville State. Sam Houston ball. What can't Dixon do? She is having a heck of a night. If I'm not mistaken, coming off the bench as well and doing all this, but she threw it off Samaya Steele, and it'll be back to the Bearcats. Almost jumped the pass, but it went off the leg of Samaya and goes out of bounds. Man. Dixon, the transfer from Eastern Arizona Community College. Pass it into Sissoko. She drains a three, and it's an 11-point game. Biggest lead for either side, 39-28. Big screen at half court. Jasmine Spencer gives in the corner to Ison, and a travel is called. Man, another turnover for Jack State, as you just heard the SHSU announcer say, turnover number 22 on the night for Jacksonville State. And it's a 13-0 run in this third period for Sam Houston. That is hard to stomach with 2:38 left in the period. Dixon drives right side, spins at the baseline, passes back out. Sissoko, who just drained a three, she'll get tripped up. It should be a shooting foul that takes her to the charity stripe. Sissoko gets up a little slowly. Teammates there to help her. Second foul on Shaquise May as she was trying to get the right positioning that time in the lane against Sissoko and ended up tripping her on accident. So Sissoko, the tall guard from Mali, from Bamako, hope I didn't butcher that, makes the first free throw. It's 40-28. She goes 2 for 2 at the line, 41-28, a 13-point game. 15-0 run to start the second. Jasmine Spencer receives a handoff. Florida superstar Spencer. Can we get some magic from her? Barkley trapped at the elbow. Gives to Barnes. Handoff to Jasmine. Open lane to the basket. Layup good. And finally, that ends the scoreless drought, thankfully. 41-30. It took almost a full 8 minutes for Jack State to score in this period. On the other end, a block from Maya Barnes rejects a shot from Kaylee Jefferson out of bounds. 41-30. Got all ball that time, did Barnes, as they show the replay on ESPN+. Beautiful rejection. Inbound to Smith, right near the bucket. Spins around Barkley, and it goes in off the cup. 43-30. Minute 44 and ticking in this period. Jasmine Spencer drives down low, layup no good, but an offensive board for Barkley. Outside Jaquise May, she'll fake a three, give to Rachel Johnson, and she'll hit the three. A line drive tray from Rachel. She finally connects on one, 43-30. She's been trying for that three all game. She's got 9 points now, and it's a 10-point difference, 43-30. If you're the Gamecocks, you can just cut into this deficit a bit more, make it a bit more respectable as we head to the fourth. That could do massive things for your team's confidence. Bearcats almost have it turned over. It's Dixon, and she will turn it over. She traveled. It was almost jumped on the pass by Rachel Johnson, but instead I think Dixon had to double clutch when she caught up to it after the tip and took that extra step. I want to thank everybody for joining us on this Thursday night. Jack State Hoops taking on Sam Houston in Huntsville, Texas. Maya Barnes jogs up the floor, passes to Jasmine Spencer. Her three from downtown is well short and out of bounds. Airballed out of bounds, out the back by Spencer. In a 10-point game, it will stay for the time being. 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's Kemp coming up the left side over to Jefferson on the wing to Dixon, who's been red hot in this second half, almost a stolen pass. Kemp recovers it, though. 10 on the shot clock. Spencer in front of her. Kemp, stutter steps to the right, open jumper, too much on it, rebounded by Jaquise May. May brings it up the near side. Stops in the lane, passes in the corner, Maya Barnes. Backing down a defender at the baseline in the paint, passes back off to May. Now to Barnes, the three with 5 to go. It's off the rim and over to Sam Houston. Sissoko puts up a half-court heave, and it just hit off the rim. Very close, but no dice that time. We head to the fourth. Sam Houston leading by 10, 43-33. Will the Bearcats get their second conference win of the year? Erkin Jack State come back on the road. We'll find out in just a minute here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. Fourth period of play, the final stanza from Johnson Coliseum in Huntsville, Texas, about to get underway as Jacksonville State's women's basketball squad trails Sam Houston 43-33. Logan Maddox with you broadcasting remotely tonight. Apologize for the inconvenience there, but we appreciate the fine folks at Sam Houston for hooking us up with a great ESPN Plus broadcast and a solution helping us out to follow along with the game this evening. We appreciate the fans tuning in tonight as well as Jasmine Spencer gets the inbounds pass, drives it in, takes some contact, but the layup no good, and Sam Houston comes away with it. Kemp races down the right side. She'll stop on the wing, bring it back near side. Sam Houston, that is, led by as many as 13 in that third period, leading by 10 here in the fourth as Sissoko puts up a three, no good, and it falls to Crystal Eisen. McCoy, now to Shaquise May. May driving down low to Barkley, jumper, good. And Asia Barkley gets her first points since early in this game. She's 2 for 2 from the field now. And it's 43-35 with just over 9 minutes to go. Needing to stop here, and a late foul called on Jasmine Spencer. You could hear even through the broadcast Jasmine Spencer's reaction to that foul. Thought that she had gotten all ball on Sydney Kemp, and as they show the replay, she did get the wrist. 43-35 and a chance to add 2 to it for the junior guard Sydney Kemp. As her first free throw is up and in. Kemp with 7 points. She's now 1 of 2 from the line in this game. It's a 9-point difference. And Kemp with 6 points. 45-35, back to a double-digit difference. Jacksonville State with Jasmine Spencer jogging up the court. Point guard from Hillsborough Community College in Florida, stops on the left wing. Bounces it to Barkley, who has it at the free throw line, now outside to McCoy. Madison gets around 2 defenders and lays it off the glass. 45-37, first points of the day for Maddie. The senior out of Knoxville, Tennessee, makes it an 8-point game once again. Sam Houston passes it to Kemp, and she loses it out of bounds, off her hand. Just miscommunication that time. I mean, she was open on the wing but wasn't ready for the ball. So Shaquise May, who was there defensively, I think will throw it in for Jacksonville State. No correction. They are going to overturn it and say that it was tipped out by Shaquise May. Now Kemp going against Shaquise, and it's a charge on Kemp. So she will get the turnover after all, and Shaquise will get the ball back for the Gamecocks. Shaquise jogging around and bending over. She took a lot of contact that time and holding on to that left arm as she was sent to the floor here in Huntsville. 8:25 left. Jacksonville State down by 8. Jasmine Spencer with a screen at half court, gets around it, kicks it in the corner. Rachel Johnson a three, and it got stuck on the rim. Oh, man. Jump ball will give it to Sam Houston. Where's Xander Bradley when you need him? Get that 6'6" student manager out there. We got to get it off the rim. 45-37. And Sam Houston gets it with 8 1/4 to play. To the right wing, Dixon. Shadowing her is Shaquise May, and an offensive foul away from the play once again. Just far too many turnovers by both of these teams. That is a combined 41 turnovers by these two squads. Gamecocks down by 8 with just over 8 minutes left. Still plenty of time to battle back in this one. Bearcats pressing again. We haven't seen that for a bit. Madison McCoy breaks the press, gives it to Spencer. Jasmine around left end, kicks it off to May for 3, off the rim, and Sam Houston gets it. But they throw it right to Jazz Spencer. Takes it over at the three-point line, ahead to May, layup good. Got to call the foul there. Took some contact at the end, but Jack State will take the 2. It's 45-39. What a steal by Spencer. Just stepped in the way of that pass. And then an offensive foul, a moving screen on the Bearcats and Kaylee Jefferson, as she sent Shaquise May hard to the floor. And May need to check out. She has been hit hard twice in this period. May was looking around immediately for the foul that time. Inbounds to Rachel Johnson. Pass it over to Madison McCoy. McCoy will loop around to Johnson, now to McCoy. It's 45-39. Layup, good. Madison McCoy got it. 45-41 now. Just over 7 minutes left. They have mixed up the score on ESPN Plus. It was saying 142 for Sam Houston. I don't think that's right, as they miss a layup, and now back to Jack State. It's a 4-point difference, 45-41. About 6.5 left as Madison McCoy gets it past half court. A 6-0 run for Jack State, looking to add to that with Jasmine Spencer on the right wing. Gets a screen, gets her open, pass back to Barkley. It's good. She was wide open by the bucket, and timeout taken by Sam Houston. What a beautiful play by the Gamecocks. 45-43, and now all the momentum in favor of the visitors. 6:38 officially left, an 8-0 run for Jack State, and we'll come back after this media timeout. It ain't over yet. Stay with us. Jack State down by 2, 45-43 with about 6.5 left as we come back to play. And it's turned over. Sam Houston throws it to Jasmine Spencer on the other end. Layup good. Jazz Spencer, right place, right time, another steal. and it's a 10-0 run for the Gamecocks. They have come all the way back after trailing 43-33 heading into the fourth. And now Sam Houston with the ball, trying to stop the bleeding a bit on their own. They threw it, and it'll be a jump ball. See who has possession, or will it be a foul? It's going to be possession to Jacksonville State. Asia Barkley was tied up with the Bearcat that time as they threw it to Renee Smith, and Barkley had her hands on the ball. So with 6:01 to go, it's Jack State ball and a chance to retake the lead here for the first time since very early in this second half. Madison McCoy hands it off to Spencer. Drives in, gives in the corner. Mays wide open for three, and it rims out. And Sam Houston gets the board. Caught by Renee Smith with 5:40 to go. Gets it back at the three-point line. She gives it to Sydney Kemp. A pass to Smith coming back to the right. Henry. Now Dixon. Dixon driving against McCoy, and it's blocked. But a foul is called. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up for Dixon. Madison McCoy was there defensively and did block it, but before that there was kind of a foul or reaching in. So 2 free throws coming up for Sam Houston and Dixon. Dixon tied for the game high with 12 points in this game, 5:26 left. And Dixon, tall guard out of Goodyear, Arizona, puts up the first one, and it rims out. It's going to stay tied at 45. Second free throw. Again, that foul was on Madison McCoy, and that one is good. 1 point lead for the Bearcats, 46-45. Gamecocks quickly down the floor to Shaquise May. Now they slow it down a bit to Asia Barkley in the paint. Around Smith, she'll spin, beat her to the hoop, and the layup's good. 47-46. 5:10 to go, and Jacksonville State finally retakes the lead. Gamecocks not going away easily as the Bearcats pretty badly miss a three off the glass. They get the offensive board, though. Smith was there to catch it off the backboard. To Shanti Henry. Has 12 points, but all those in the first half. Jefferson 3 from the wing. Off the glass 2 and rebounded by Barkley. Ahead to Jazz Spencer, and she turns it over. Threw it to Sam Houston. Intercepted by Shanti Henry, and she is fouled at the wing to take us to the media timeout. 4:35 left. Jacksonville State takes the lead back. A 12-1 scoring run. And they lead it 47-46 here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. Stay with us. Correction. Looks like they are going to keep it here. No media timeout. Thought we would have taken it, but nevertheless, we'll keep it right here. 4:35 to go. They give it in to Sydney Kemp and now to Dixon, who has taken over this second half. Jefferson with it. Top of the key. She'll walk it to the right side. Sydney Kemp around Jasmine Spencer, driving baseline. Now to Henry with a short jumper. It's off the rim. She can't hit anything now after being red hot from all over in the first half. Jasmine Spencer dribbles behind her back. Takes it in the lane. Layup no good. You got to hit the open shot. Offensive rebound, though, to Rachel Johnson. They wipe off the shot. I think there was a foul before the shot. Man, you got to hit those wide open shots. If you're Jasmine Spencer, that one hurts. So Jacksonville State will have the ball out of this stop. I think it was something to do with the shot clock. It was not reset. So now they'll correct that, and the Gamecocks will throw it in. Crystal Ison, almost a bad pass, and Elsie Harris will pick it up on the opposite side of the floor. Elsie passes tip. She gets it back over to Ison. Crystal double teamed at the baseline, keeps it alive, throws it to Rachel Johnson. 4 on the clock, over to Harris, who heaves a three, and it's just off the rim. Not a bad look for having to just heave it at the horn that time if you're Elsie. Sam Houston with the ball, down by a point. 3.5 to go. Sydney Kemp going around right side. Gives in the corner. This is Sissoko. A handoff. Dixon. Bounce pass to Houghton. They still with it with 6 shot on the shot clock. Layup no good. Punched around and rebounded by nobody. There's a foul on the floor, but who's it on? Maya Barnes will get called for a push, and I mean that would have been targeting if this was football. She was diving for the rebound, and I think that was Houghton that came over and elbowed her right in the head. They'll still get the foul on Maya Barnes. And that'll be the 4th team foul on Jack State with 3:17 left. Bearcats will toss it in. Down low to Renee Smith. Floater off the glass, goes in. And they retake the lead, 48-47. Easy does it for Smith. She's got 8 points and 7 rebounds. 3 minutes left. Elsie Harris drives in, gives in the corner. This is Maya Barnes. Now to Asia Barkley. Long 2 off the glass. Not particularly close that time. Rebounded by Sam Houston. They go down the floor. Henry, double teamed, has to pass it back out with 2:44 left. Sam Houston trying to drain some of this clock before they really start to play. High pass into Smith, down low, layup, no good for Houston. Or for Dixon, that is. Rebounded by Johnson. Rachel, no look pass to Crystal Ison, jumper, good. And a big finish by Crystal Ison. Perfect pass from Rachel Johnson, 49-48. The Gamecocks lead with just over 2 minutes remaining. Sam Houston ball tipped away by Sydney Kemp. She picks it back up. Kemp feeds in the corner to Shanti Henry. She'll walk it around to the wing. And timeout taken by the Bearcats. 2:01 left, a 30-second timeout for them. We'll keep it here. This one coming down to the wire, but exactly what you expect. These showdowns in the Lone Star State, Jacksonville State, Sam Houston, first ever meeting between these two programs. Ooh, have a second to catch our breath. We'll look at other final scores as games are coming to a close in the league tonight. Middle Tennessee's women blew out Liberty tonight up in Murfreesboro, 81-55, final score in that game. Mentioned that Liberty's women, or Western Kentucky's women beat La Tech last night in the other final this week. In men's action, Liberty's men all over Middle Tennessee, 88-53 up in Virginia. And then at the Pete tonight, Jacksonville State knocks off Sam Houston 79-68 behind 19 points from Kiki Tandy. Big win for the Gamecocks and trying for another big win on the women's side tonight in this one. 2:01 left, 49-48, and Sam Houston starts it with a pass into Sydney Kemp. Kemp's got it on the right wing. She'll drive in, lay up, no good off the glass. Rebounded by Smith, and then a foul on the floor. And that'll take her to the free throw line. Second foul on Brianna Rhodes, and 2 coming up for Dixon. It was caught by Renee Smith, and yeah, Brianna Rhodes grabbed her arm and yanked her to the floor. That's an easy one to call if you're the officials. So the 5th foul on Jack State, and Sam Houston will be in the bonus for the final 152. They had Jefferson at the free throw line. She was not. And Petrie is, he's yelling the same thing as me. She should not be shooting a free throw here. Jefferson went to the line initially. I don't know who they were trying to fool that time, but now Smith at the line, and the junior from Philly misses the free throw. No good. Hoping for a tie here are the Bearcats. She's got 12 points so far in this game. Off the rim, no good. And then another foul going for the rebound on Jack State. Are you kidding me? A push off on Maya Barnes as she went to get the rebound, and that's going to send Henry to the line. Oh, they show the replay, and that was, I mean, just Oscar-level acting by Shanti Henry. Tripped over her own left feet that time, but, man, that is hard to call that foul if you're an official. Free throw good from Henry, and we're tied at 49. Just comical that time. Barnes made no contact with her, and Henry will give them the lead on 2 free throws that they probably shouldn't have had. 50-49, minute 50 left. Crystal Ison brings it down the floor over to Madison McCoy on the wing. Fakes a handoff, will pass it to Ison. Crystal drives in, and a blocking foul is called on Sam Houston. So now they've got no more to give. That's their fourth team foul. Minute 38 left. And Jack State be set to toss it in just beside the basket, trailing by a point.
Most of her feet were inside the arc. You've got to be clearly outside the arc to have that call the other way. It's the fourth foul against Jefferson, the fourth against the Bearcats.
Intense finale in what has been a back-and-forth contest. High pass in, caught by Madison McCoy. Gives to Jasmine Spencer. The playmaker drives inside, layup off the rim, and rebounded by Sam Houston. Pulled down by Renee Smith, and she'll bring it up the floor. Throws it right to Brianna Rhodes. I'm not sure what she saw. She threw it right to the junior. And now the Gamecocks get it with 1:15 to go. Jasmine Spencer is fouled, putting up a layup. Sydney Kemp called for the foul, and Jazz Spencer with a chance at the line here. They call it a shooting foul. And Sydney Kemp, I believe she is done for the day now. That'll be her fifth foul of the matchup. 1:12 remaining, and 2 free throws here for Jasmine Spencer. The junior from the Sunshine State trying to shine through here and put Jack State back on top. First free throw from Spencer is true. We are tied at 50. And Spencer hits both of them. Gamecocks lead it by a point with 1:12 remaining. Sam Houston will have an opportunity here. Jogging up the floor is Duro. Pass to the right to Jefferson. Jefferson to Henry. Henry crosses back over to the right wing. Pass back to the left. Jefferson drives against McCoy, puts up a shot, and they blow the whistle. That'll be the night for Madison McCoy. Hit the arm of Kaylee Jefferson as she tried that jumper, and McCoy fouls out, her 5th of the evening. Ouch. Not the best night for McCoy. 4 points, 1 rebound, and the senior will check out. We'll see who they bring in for her. McCoy didn't think that was her 5th, but she will come off slowly. And they will bring in a substitution here with 54.2 remaining. It'll be Maya Barnes coming in. Kaylee Jefferson at the line for Sam Houston. First free throw is no good. Too much on it. Bearcats still hoping for a tie here. Second free throw from Jefferson is good. We are tied at 51 apiece. Maya Barnes gives it in to Jasmine Spencer. She'll bring it up the left side. She'll take it all the way. Layup, good. Jasmine Spencer puts Jack State on top by 2, 53-51. But here's Sam Houston. They're wasting no time. Open down low is Smith, and the response ties it at 53 apiece. 34 seconds remaining. They go down to Rachel Johnson on the wing. Now to Jasmine Spencer with 26 seconds left. A screen set from Brianna Rhodes. Spencer driving baseline, kicks it in the corner to Johnson. Rachel outside Maya Barnes, a 3, got it! Maya Barnes puts Jack State up 3 with 16 seconds left. Are you kidding me? Barnes had the buzzer beater to end the first half, and now even bigger than that, she puts Jack State up 3 with 16 left. And again, it's the ball movement from Jacksonville State, passing it multiple times inside the arc, and Barnes was left completely unguarded at the top of the key. 16.2 left, and timeout taken on the floor. We're going to keep it right here. Wow. What a night And Jack State trying to close it out. Sam Houston will have plenty of time. They've got 16 seconds left, but no timeouts if the on-screen graphic is correct. Whew, it's been a night. It's been a matchup as Jack State's trying to win their third in a row after winning 2 big ones last week. Remember, they've got another CUSA matchup on the road later on this weekend. They'll travel to Bowling Green on Saturday to take on Western Kentucky. Tip-off is set for 2 p.m. Central Time up in Bowling Green on Saturday afternoon. If you can't make it out, catch all the action on ESPN Plus and right here on the Gamecocks Sports Network. Red and white break up the huddle, and they head back out there. 16.2 seconds remaining, and Jack State with a chance to close it out and get this win in Huntsville. Let's see what Sam Houston does. They advance it up the floor with a timeout. Goes into Henry, a 3 for the tie, off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Asia Barkley, and she's fouled. And with Jack State in the bonus, she will head to the line with 12.5 remaining. This is where you can put it away with some solid shooting at the line. I'm not sure if you could hear, but of course, Sam Houston announcers were wondering and pondering, what do you do in this situation? But it was pretty obvious they were going to go through 22, Shanti Henry. As the free throw from Asia Barkley is true, 57-53. Now that doesn't necessarily put it on ice, but you can breathe a little bit easier if you're the visitors. Second freebie from Barkley. The former Anniston Lady Bulldog hits both of them. It's a 5-point game, 58-53. Now again, Sam Houston does not have any timeouts. Jack State will not take a timeout here. They roll it into Tamara Duro. She picks it up. 12 seconds to go. Breaks half court, 10 to go. Down to the baseline with 7. Outside a 3 from Henry, no good. Offensive board. They'll give it back to Henry. It's blocked, and this game is over. Jacksonville State with a humongous comeback in the fourth period, and they knock off Sam Houston 58-53. And now the officials are calling time. They're going to look at the replay to see if there was a foul on the block shot. It's not going to matter. This game's going to be over. Wow. What a comeback for Jack State. Again, they trailed 43-33 coming into this final period. They scored 25 in the fourth. And as it stands right now, they win by 5. But we will see if they end up calling a foul on that last three-pointer. Do not know that it truly matters, but I guess we'll see how much it will matter at the end. As it stands right now, a 5-point win for Jack State on the road. This would be just their second road win of the season. They came in 1-9 on the road this year. The only other win away from home was a victory at Alabama State. That was all the way back in November, on November 30th. 74-53 was that one. Again, they are looking back at that last second three-point shot by Shanti Henry. And now Petrie, as you can see, it's so funny watching this on the ESPN Plus stream. You can see Petrie's reaction as he looks at the other official and says, what's the need for this, really? And obviously Petrie not happy with the call, so they're going to put some time back on this, half a second, to be exact, 0.6 seconds. And there will be some free throws here for Sam Houston, and that should just about do it. I would imagine it's going to be 3 free throws. They called a foul on Asia Barkley. There will be 3 free throws awarded. She did not have the clean block to end the game that we were hoping. So 3 free throws here for Shanti Henry, but essentially as long as Jack State can throw the pass in, this game will be over. As she makes the first free throw, I'll say if they can pass it in or if they can simply get a rebound if she misses the final free throw. Henry hits the second one, so it will be a one-possession game, 58-55. And Henry hits all 3. I don't think she meant to hit the last one. I think she she was trying to throw it off the rim. Maybe, I don't know. It would have been a three-point game still. I'm not sure what she was thinking. You could tell she didn't mean to make it. She threw it hard, but it went right in. So she hits all three, 58-56. And now Jacksonville State will try to just throw it in and run this clock out. Gamecocks call time to look it over. You can see head coach Raven Justice for Sam Houston visibly upset on the sideline. I'm not sure of the line of thinking. I don't know that they understand there's 0.6 seconds remaining. Okay, if you miss that free throw and you get the rebound, you're not going to have enough time. You have no timeouts. What's your line of thinking? I mean, the game is pretty much over at this point. So I'm not sure why she was upset with that player, but regardless, it's a two-point game, 58-56, and 0.6 seconds remaining. Jack State, a pass away from getting this game over. They are half a second away from improving to 4-5 in conference play after starting 1-5. Shaquise May will throw it in. It'll go into Asia Barkley. Got a touch of it, and that'll do it. And Jacksonville State will get it done at the end of the day, 58-56. About 3 points closer than we thought it would be. But at the end of the day, it's a dub, and that's what the Jack State Gamecocks will take all day long. Wow, what a fourth period. Jack State scores 25 in the final stanza, and they win it by 2, 58-56. What a game, what a night. Look at final stats for Jacksonville State. Leading scorer was Asia Barkley, as she finished with 10 points and 10 rebounds, her second double-double of the year. 9 points for Rachel Johnson and 8 points for Jasmine Spencer, all those coming off the bench for Jack State. Gamecocks outshot Sam Houston 38% to 34%. And shot 5 of 20 from deep. And we're going to hear from Rick Petrie, who's speaking with the broadcasters for Sam Houston.
Well, I was thinking we weren't in very good shape. But I'll give our kids a ton of credit. They just, fought like hell in the last quarter and just battled. I have to give Raven and her squad credit, man. They absolutely muck up the game, and I mean that's a compliment.
In a good way, right?
That's a compliment. They muck it up, and they made us look really bad at times. But that's what she tried to. That's her objective, and it worked for a lot of the game. But in the fourth quarter, we started to make some baskets, and then we started to make stops. And I think their kids got a little bit tight because some of the shots that they were taking that were going in earlier weren't going in. But the good news was we were getting most of the rebounds, the defensive rebounds, off the misses.
Not a lot of second chance opportunities.
Exactly. And also what that got us was with some transition opportunities. We were able to get the ball going in an open court situation before their defense had been set, and we got some chances out of that too.
That makes 10 of 18 shooting from the floor. That gets you back in the game in a hurry.
No doubt. And a lot of that was at the rim.
Right.
And then some of it was pitch out, and we made some big perimeter shots, none bigger than the one Maya Barnes hit right at the end. That was a huge one. But here's the thing, because of their aggression, if you get downhill, they also are pretty good at covering up their aggression. But what that leaves is somebody open on the perimeter if you can find them. And we were able to find them, and we were able to make enough perimeter shots to give us a chance to win, including like the Maya Barnes shot. But she was wide open.
Right.
She was wide open and she hit it.
Because you attack from the left side of the basket, shoot the pass out underneath the basket on the right side, so everybody sucks down low. That leaves the perimeter open, and you found the open player.
We did. That's correct. So, I think our kids deserve a tremendous amount of credit for what they were able to accomplish in the fourth quarter, the energy they brought. Because to that point, Sam Houston had played with more energy, frankly. I didn't think our kids were dogging it. I'm not saying that. But there's a meter, and I think the Sam Houston kids were a little bit higher on the meter. And I think in the fourth quarter, we got above them on the meter. Right? And I think that's why it ended, the final result ended up being what it was.
Asia Barkley played 31 minutes for you against New Mexico State. You win on Saturday. She comes back with a double-double tonight with 10 rebounds and 10 points.
She was outstanding in the second half in particular. Great defense in the post, outsized in the post, but great defense in the post, and again was able, 14, Smith.
Right.
Elite offensive rebounder, not good, elite, and we were able to do a decent job. And Asia was doing a decent job of collecting some rebounds on that end when she's outsized, and just playing with energy and playing with athleticism.
Well, you got 3 straight wins here to start off the month of February. Over the last 3 years, your team is now 14-5 in February. What's your secret?
I've had people ask me that, and really, honestly, what we just try to be smart about how much to work our kids. We work them, but we just try. We go into the year knowing it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a long season, right?
And so we just try not to bury them with overbearing. We practice and we practice hard. We try not to be overbearing, and we try to be smart to make sure we've got enough gas in the tank at the end. It's worked for us in previous years. We'll see this year.
Well, congratulations on a big road victory tonight, getting you close to the 500 mark in the league at 4-5.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's head coach Rick Petrie, the head coach of.
And again, that was head coach Rick Petrie joining us here on the, joining the ESPN Plus broadcast team, I should say, for Sam Houston as they wrap up their broadcast. Some final thoughts from Petrie. Big win tonight for the Gamecocks. They come back from a 10-point fourth quarter deficit and win it by a final of 58-56. We'll be back with you on Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. tip-off between the Lady Toppers of Western Kentucky and the Gamecocks. If you can't make it out, you can catch all the action here on the Gamecock Sports Network. For everybody with Jacksonville State Athletics, everybody with Jack State Women's Basketball, Logan Maddox signing off. Have a great rest of your evening. Your final score, Jacksonville State wins it at Sam Houston, 58-56.